We've done a lot of stuff on Fox Sports Outdoors in the 15-year history of the show, but we've never done this. We are going fishing from a pontoon boat on this week's show, and we're gonna catch them. Get ready for some real fun because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey everybody, so here's the deal. You can have fun and ski and party, have a great time with the family and your friends on a pontoon boat, right? Right. But you can't really fish out of one and really have a chance to catch fish, can you? We're going to answer that on this week's episode. Glad you're with us, everybody. We're at one of the popular hot spots on my home lake, Lake Granbury, Texas, this week. It's really not much about the lake this week, but here's what it is about. We have got a beautiful Sun Tracker Fishing Barge 22 DLX. This is a pontoon boat supreme that's rigged out with all the nice gear, all the nice goodies. We've got it custom rigged out with some special things, and we're going to tell you this week, if you're interested in a pontoon boat, if you ever thought that it might be a lot of fun to have a pontoon boat and be able to fish out of one too, we've got it all for you on this week's show. We're going to try to catch more than one species this week. And while we're out having that fun and fishing, we're going to be taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays where you live. We'll cover both the saltwater and the freshwater fishing. So let's get it all started right now, back at the FSN studio with your weekend planner.
It appears both days this weekend will offer fair game fish activity according to the Salooner tables. Peak morning hours will start at 6:10 a.m. on Saturday and 6:59 on Sunday. And the best evening action should begin a little before sunset. Look for the sun to rise at 7:11 and set at 7:33. In evenings will feature a moon that is 38% illuminated. Stay with us for freshwater and coastal fishing information from around the region. Plus, I'll return with professional angler Andrew Upshaw with this week's Ask the Pro question.
Hey everybody, we've made it out in the Sun Tracker Fishing Barge 22, and we're idling around, and I'm going to try to do a little crappie fishing today. And as you can see, I've got my Lowrance Elite TI unit set up here, and I've actually come across a brush pile. You can see it right there. So I've got a marker buoy, and I'm going to throw it behind me because what you see that I've passed is actually on the transducer that's on the transom of the boat. It's behind me. So I threw that marker buoy out right there, and you can see that we've got about 14, 15 feet of water and a little bit of piled up brush right on top of it. And that is going to be prime stuff for catching crappie. So I'm going to drop the trolling motor down, circle back around, get on that brush, see if we can catch a couple of crappie, and talk you through some of the basics of fishing out of a fishing pontoon boat. Hang with us.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries powering the world forward. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Come aboard, buddy. All right, they were there. I mean, that did not take long. That was my first drop down. There's one. Big old crappie. Yeah, here we go. Come aboard, buddy. All right, they were there. I mean, that did not take long. That was my first drop down, and I caught a good old big keeper crappie. All right, well, as you saw, we made it. We made the little drive through, found the brush, dropped the buoy out, and the very first drop down, I caught a good crappie. And I'll tell you, if we were keeping them today on this fishing barge, it's got a live well right here. I've got my battery charger in it right now, but I could easily flip a switch on, the aerator comes on, would fill this up, there's the aerator there, and I could keep a mess of crappie. But I already have a freezer full of crappie. You know me, I gotta keep crappie. That's my best fish to eat. So this one's going back. Oh, it's a long drop down there. And away he swims. See you, buddy. Well, let me give you the very first principle of pontoon boat fishing in my book. Vertical fishing. Two kinds of fishing. Horizontal, where you're casting out and reeling a bait sideways, and vertical fishing, where you're dropping a bait straight down. There are lots of kinds of vertical fishing, but when you get a lot of people on the boat and you've got a canopy to watch out for here, then that's just a recipe for disaster. You get a bunch of folks on a pontoon boat, you get yourself some way to fish where you can fish vertically.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where fishing fun is year-round and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast offers some of the best inshore angling and offshore adventures anywhere in the world. So start your next fishing adventure in the true South, Mississippi. Well, Tropical Storm Gordon made a mess of part of the Gulf Coast, but the redfish continue to do real well over along the Alabama coast, according to my friend Captain Patrick Garmison. The redfish are a lot of slot fish. They're in the grass edges, in the rivers, and also in the lower Bay Delta. Look for bait. Patrick said look for bait schools. That's the tip off to where there are fish. And once you find that bait, slow down and fish very methodically. Also with Tropical Storm Gordon, a lot of rain that's pushing a lot of water out of the rivers into Mobile Bay. And this is a pure perfect setup for sight fishing for triple tail around all the flotsam coming down into Mobile Bay. In Mississippi, it's also redfish. They're literally everywhere, all sizes, under slots, good slot fish. They're around the islands, they're around the shell bars, grass beds, docks, almost any kind of structure you can find there's gonna hold redfish. And there's black drum with them too if you're fishing bait like crabs. Over in southeast Georgia, Captain Tim Cutting out of St. Simon's Island says that he's doing real well using shrimp tip jigs and he's covering water. He's got to cover a lot of water at low tide fishing shell, but he will make a nice day of it catching trout, reds, and some sheep's head and flounder. Well, that's it for the southeast coast. Get out in the water, and when you go, take a youngster with you.
There's one. Well, there we go. Caught another small one. I tell you, I've just been catching a lot of fish, one right after the next. And a lot of them just barely below the keeper line, and that one would probably barely be a keeper. There you go. There he is. Well, they're biting. In Texas, you can keep 25 of these per person, minimum length limit 10 inches. They thump it. That would be another 10-inch keeper right there. And that one's a real skinny one. There's another one. That is another cool thing you can do with a pontoon boat, is you can live bait fish for stripers. There we go. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're still out this morning, and we've made a little switch. We started off catching some crappie, and actually gone to striper fishing now, and didn't take very long, and I've hooked one. Pulled up here on a little creek channel. See if I can get this fish under control here. There we go. All right, we got a striper. Well, that is another cool thing you can do with a pontoon boat, is you can live bait fish for stripers. I mentioned earlier that vertical fishing is the deal. And this is a different kind of vertical fishing right here with I'm using a casting rod, but I'm not casting it. Just dropping it straight over the side with some live shad. And there's a nice striper right there for you. And I've actually got one of my good buddies who's a fishing guide, Mike Acosta, who's out here with me, and he's got a guide trip going on today and was generous enough to throw me a few of his live shad. I'll show you what those look like in a second. Didn't take long though, and we got a nice striper. It's real important that you have the right gear and the right upgraded gear on these pontoon boats. Typically, even with the fishing package, they come with a little small fish finder and a little small foot control trolling motor, and that won't do. You need to upgrade that stuff. My fish finder back there is an Elite TI. It's a Lowrance Elite TI, and you need to get one with a bigger screen, at least a 9-inch and maybe a 12-inch screen. And then what I've got is my Motor Guide XI3 trolling motor. It's a 24-volt system, so you need to put an extra battery in these. But I can use my remote control and I can operate it from anywhere in the boat. That way, if I'm back working with kids in the back or doing something anywhere else, I can put this trolling motor down and control it and go anywhere I want to go with it. Use this remote control to also lock the boat down. So if you get out on a school of fish, or if you just want to swim and play and want to stay in the same spot, you can hit the anchor lock feature on this trolling motor, and it'll just lock into the GPS and keep you positioned exactly on the right spot.
Hey guys, this week's Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama fishing report is brought to you by the Henry County Tourism Authority. There's a lot going on at Paris Landing, and you can check that all out at fishkentuckylake.com. Guys, it's late summer, it's hot, the fishing's a little bit tough, but there are still some bright spots, and let me tell you where those are. In the state of Mississippi, Bay Springs Lake has been great lately. There was an 11.5 pounder caught there last week. It's a good time to go there. It's a really neat little place, kind of unique if you've never been, but the offshore fishing seems to be the deal right now. In Alabama, it is still Smith Lake at night. The lower end, fish the lighted docks, or you can throw a deep diving crankbait at night or a jig on the offshore, you know, the points and humps and stuff. As far as Tennessee goes, I'm still gonna go to Chickamauga now. We got a real good crop of grass. The frog bite should be turning on, and the mid section of the lake has been the best lately, but don't count out any of it. Spend some time, hunt around. On cloudy days, use a dark frog. On sunny days, use a light colored frog, and just fish those broken up mats. Everybody wants to fish the big stuff, but it's the little broken up pieces that are the best. And Tennessee at nighttime, I'm still going to Percy Priest or Del Hollow. It's really good. So guys, there's a lot of ways to catch them, but my favorite way right now is to do it when it's not 150 degrees. Be safe out there. We'll see you. God bless.
At the heart of Kentucky Lake is a special place known as Paris, Tennessee. It's a place where fishing, hunting, dining, shopping, and family fun are all served with a side of Southern hospitality. We hope you'll join us soon and experience this world by the water.
There we go. That's a smaller one. But there's another striper for you. Well, we're out here drifting these live shad, and you know, one of the things that we haven't mentioned too much so far, but I sure want to talk about, is the social aspect of fishing out of a pontoon boat. Man, it is a lot of fun to come out here with a bunch of buddies or a bunch of family members. We came out yesterday and we took my son Brady, his fiance Jamie, and my grandson to be Callan out. And we had a great time fishing. He caught his first crappie. We ran the inner tube up and down the lake. We just had a great time. So a Sun Tracker fishing barge like this one just adds the family and friendship and fun back into fishing and time on the water. You ought to experience it at least once.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan your fishing vacation and catch the details at orangebeach.com/fishing. And Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder.
Made a little change right here, and it's paying off already big time, and a lot of good keeper crappie. There we go. Good crappie. Good crappie. Come up here, buddy. All right. Don't flop. Now you can flop. All right, welcome back everybody. We've made a little change right here, and it's paying off already big time, and a lot of good keeper crappie. What I've done is I pulled off those brush piles. The sun's gotten high up overhead, and it's caused some shadows to happen around the boat docks. So what I've done is driven around until I found a little bit deeper boat dock that's got a hard shadow, and you can actually see that shadow edge right in there. And those crappie will get there, and so I can actually fish it perfectly out of this fishing barge pontoon boat, the Sun Tracker. But it just shows you the versatility of this boat, that you can actually do some fairly advanced techniques. Even though it's a pontoon boat, it is maneuverable, and if you get it rigged out with the right electronics and the right trolling motor, just as we mentioned right at the outset of the show, you can do a lot of cool things. So I can actually shoot under this dock like that, got it way back in there, and I like to get it about 15 feet down. This dock's about 20 feet on the outside edge. There's another one right there, way back in there. That's a much smaller fish, but just to show you the versatility of this pontoon boat, and I've caught about 20 of these crappie out from under this one dock already, and that's just one dock. I can move from dock to dock and catch a whole bunch more. All right, we're gonna get this one unhooked back in the water and see what happens next. Y'all hang in there with us.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by the Crazy Sister Marina, located on the Marsh Walk in Merle's Inlet. We're the leader in water sports, and we have been for years. Everything you want to do along the Grand Strand and out on the water, we can take care of it for you right here. If you'll visit crazysister.com, you can schedule your trip for the fall, as that is probably some of the best fishing that we have to offer here in the Carolinas. And I tell you what, I want to tell all of you out there in the Carolinas and along the coastline, you're in our thoughts and prayers, as I hope we are for you. Excuse the appearance, I've been prepping for the hurricane, moving boats and getting things ready, and I hope that you've made the proper preparedness to be ready for this storm as well. You can't take these things lightly. No matter where you sit in that cone of uncertainty, make sure that you've prepared for this. You're in our prayers, and remember, please pray for us too. Now, to talk about one thing that's going on, the king mackerel bite has been incredible. Last week, Marlin Quay Marina held their king mackerel shootout, and my good buddy Robbie Remsen took the prize at $33,000 with a nice 37-pound fish he caught out in 90 foot of water. He caught that on some great live bait. Robbie was either using mullet or menhaden. Make sure you put the time in to get live bait. Live bait is the key if you want to catch some nice king mackerel, and you can catch them on the beach right now, 40, 50, 60 foot of water. There's some big fish coming out in 80, 90, and 100 foot of water as well. So whether you're in South Carolina or North Carolina, if you're a king mackerel fisherman, it's our time of the year to get out and enjoy it. Listen, I hope everybody stays safe through Hurricane Florence. You're in my thoughts and prayers. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by the Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
There we go. Another crappie in the shade. Come out. Oh, that's a decent crappie. Okay. There is a decent crappie right there. See if I can hold him without dropping him. I usually drop them. Well, this just shows you, I'm really doing this to prove a point, that if you want to bring the kids and bring the parents and a lot of beginners fishing, you can do that in a pontoon boat. But if you're a guy that wants to do a little more advanced level fishing, if you want to do some bass fishing back in the coves around the stumps, you want to shoot docks like I'm doing here for crappie, you can do that. I'm going to put this fish back right here. Quickly, I want to give you a quick tour around this Sun Tracker Fishing Barge 22. It's a 22-foot boat, but it's got lots of deck space. We already showed you it's got a live well or bait well up front. It's got 2 fishing chairs up front. You can fish a person on each corner, 2 fishing chairs in the back facing out the back. Each of these will swivel around any direction. It's got the captain's chair, really nice console. It's got a couple of really nice sofas. Underneath one of those sofas is a table that will fold out onto a pedestal. You can sit around it and eat. It's got a swim platform back there and a swim ladder. It's got fishing rod storage so you can get your rods out of the way. It's got a really nice canopy. Man, this thing is really, really rigged out. It's got a washable floor here, so before it gets dirty, just power wash it out at the car wash and you are good to go.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pros segment, where viewers get expert insights from professional insiders. This week's question comes from Larry, who asks, what are your favorite types of rods to use for crappie fishing? For the answer, we checked with professional angler Andrew Upshaw.
That's a great question. One of the things that I really like to do is shoot docks with a really short pole. So I like a rod that's anywhere between 5'6" and 6'6". I like a medium to medium light action for shooting those docks. Whenever I'm dipping around shallow cover jigging, formerly known as dipping, when I'm dipping around that shallow cover, I like a really long rod, anywhere between 10 and 14 foot, depending on how far away from the cover I need to be. And that also depends on if you're wading or fishing from a boat. So, great question. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Andrew. If you have something to ask one of the pros, visit our website and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now let's take a look at this week's Big Catch winner.
We are back after a very successful day's fishing in the fishing barge, and it's time right now for someone to get their big fish photo on television in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He is Billy Bullman of Conover, North Carolina, showing a 20-pound blue catfish he caught at Lake Monticello in South Carolina. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week contest on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send us your big fish photo. As far as the gear, I think we already showed you most of what we wanted to show you as far as what you'll need to get set up and catch them out of the fishing barge. We showed you the rod and reels. That's the loose Mock Crush orange rod and reel combo. We caught most of those crappie on the Bobby Garland pile diver, and we caught the stripers on big live shad about 6 inches long, fished pretty much straight below the boat. Now, as far as the Fishing Barge 22, we showed you most of the features of this boat. We'll give you another quick look at it, but you can go on the Sun Tracker website at the address you see there on your screen, and you can see all the different fishing barges. They come in different sizes. There are other pontoons as well. You can see them all at the Sun Tracker website. I was riding my bike the other day and I was thinking about momentum as I was going downhill. Momentum is a very powerful force. In sports, the team that has it is extremely difficult to stop. It's also like that in life. When things are going your way, it's all good. But when you're battling uphill and momentum is against you, it's very difficult. But that's when you've got to get to another level. You've got to work at it. You've got to be creative. Don't quit. Keep trying. Try it another way. You can't just lay down, because if you do, life will happily steamroll you. Hey, we had a lot of fun this week fishing out of that pontoon boat. We caught at least 5 different species of fish, and I think you and your family and friends could have a great time fishing out of one as well. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.